Last round live with Iman Barlow. Iman, I guess my first question would be like, it's been a while since you've been in the ring. When can we expect you back in action?
Yeah, so I was last in the ring in March, so I feel like, yeah, it was about 6 weeks ago.
Why does it feel so long?
Yeah, I've not got a fight date yet, but I'm hoping in the summer that would be nice. So yeah, we're just waiting for news really.
A lot of UK people that I interview, you know, are kind of chasing that goal of getting to one championship. You fought in there for a while now. How has your experience been in one championship?
Yeah, well, I first signed my contract before COVID, and I was due to fight for the world title before the pandemic hit. And then it didn't happen, and I struggled a lot over the pandemic with no fights. I think I flew out there once to fight, and it got cancelled because my opponent got COVID. So it's been a difficult road. I've been signed for over 3 years and only had 2 fights. So yeah, I've struggled with, you know, I was so used to fighting regular. And it's been kind of a change up. So yeah, I've been looked after, but also, you know, I'm here to fight and I just want more fights.
Yeah. How does it work in terms of, say, if you were to be offered a fight in another organisation? Is that just a no-go once you've signed to one championship?
You have to get their permission. But
yeah, you fought on MTGP.
Yeah, I've had a few fights, you know, especially over the pandemic when there wasn't many fights for them to get me anyway. I had permission, yeah. So, and I just tried to do that in order to keep active. So that's why I went to the IFMAs, I went to the World Games, I fought on one of my home shows because, you know, I'm all about keeping active as much as possible, and it's been a struggle with the pandemic and contracts sometimes.
That was going to be my next question, really. Like, you know, with the IFMAs and the World Games, how have you found that experience? Because, you know, it's like completely different rule set type thing, you know, wearing like padded up and everything.
Yeah, I loved it. I think in my head, went into it as an underdog because it's completely different to fighting professional. Yeah. And a lot of professionals go into it thinking this will be a walkover, but, you know, you've got to follow rules, which sometimes, you know, as fighters are not used to. So it was good. I loved it. The UKMF looked after me and so did IFMA. And yeah, some of the fights were really hard. There were girls that I personally hadn't heard of before because they only fight in IFMA tournaments, and some of the girls were really good. But yeah, I loved it. I loved the experience, and it was a challenge for me. And to go in there and smash it both times, like I was proud of myself.
I remember speaking to Neve after she fought in it, and she was like saying it was like, you know, really hard. Like you had to walk around and kind of like your fight weight and stuff all the time.
I mean, it's helped me a little bit because I always used to fight at 54 kilos, and with one championships, obviously I had to go up to, it's just under 57, but that's hydrated, so that's fine with me. It is going up, but with that in mind. But the same with the IFMAs, I was at 57, but walking around at that, and I was quite lucky because I didn't have to sweat off, you know, the night before or that day to weigh in. So it worked well for me the weight I fought at. But yeah, it's a big difference.
What do you think of the weight classes in one? Like, it seems like even in the men's game as well, obviously there's more weight classes, but it still seems like, you know, there's quite a big jump between weight classes.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't really be fighting at the one I'm in, 56.7, but then the hydration is just so alien, and, you know, just when you think you've cracked it and then the next time you've not. So it's hard because they say, oh, you just drink. But then you're obviously conscious because, yeah, you can just drink, but you're going to put on weight. Yeah. But obviously you weigh it out. But it's hard mentally. But then the next one down is 52.2. And I don't know if I'd be able to do that without the hydration. So, yeah, it is a big jump, but there's not loads of girls in my weight division, so yeah, it's a difficult one. But I think as well with the men, there are big jumps.
Yeah. What do you make of One Lumpini that's come in recently? Obviously, it's good in the sense that, you know, UK fighters are getting to fight under the One Championship banner. Yeah. But like, I feel like a lot of them are saying, oh yeah, I'm signed to one, but in reality, it's kind of like you just got like a one fight contract to fight in Lumpini.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I think it's good exposure for them, and it is a good opportunity. You know, they're doing different things for Muay Thai, so, you know, why not? I wouldn't say having a contract is the be all and end all. Sometimes the grass ain't greener, so you've just got to do you. You know, do what you want to do, and if you want to keep active or if you want to, you know, have the exposure, then it's different things.
And lastly, it's kind of like a lot of like younger girls in the game kind of cite you as like, you know, an influence on them, you know, kind of like a role model to them. How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel proud. You know, I work very hard. I'm now 30, I turned 30 last month, and I've been doing it since I was a little girl. So for people like that to look up to me, it's nice. You know, I train hard every day. So yeah, it's kind of like reaping the rewards. I'm not as great at social media as I'd like to be, but yeah, it's nice. And if anyone ever wants to reach out, they can always message me. You know, I always have girls in my messages, you know, just asking for advice or questions, and it's nice. It's something to be proud of, I think.
Yeah. Is there like added pressure at all with it?
Not really, because it's just doing what I do anyway. Sometimes, like, you know, I don't document as much, and maybe I should, but it's hard. You know, I work full time and I train full time, so it's hard to have time for anything. But yeah, it's nice.
It's actually interesting you say that. Sorry, I know I said in my last question, but just like, you know, you're saying you work full time and stuff. I think people have this kind of perception with one championship. They're like, once you get signed to them, it's like, right, your life changed. You know, you're fighting Muay Thai only. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I was always like that. I think I was 18 and I was a dinner lady or a lunchtime supervisor, so I worked an hour and a half a day, and I loved it because I could train in the morning, train at night. And then, you know, my mum and dad said, really, you need something behind you in case, you know, you can't fight forever. So I love my job. I love my job, and I feel like it's a break from training, and I get out the house and out the gym and have that kind of different part to my life. So it's very tiring. You know, it's hard training in the morning, then going to work, and then training again in the evening, you know, eating the right things at work. I'm surrounded by chocolate and sweets. But yeah, I think I need it in my life, and it's good for me. So yeah, I enjoy working. Obviously, I'd love to train full time and not have to work and, you know, sleep more. But it's just the way it is, and I work hard, so.
Ricky, well, thank you very much for the chat and allowing me into your gym. Really appreciate it.
No worries.